So here we are again, family. Back in the space where truth gets to breathe, where dignity gets its flowers, and where Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, is not only protected but celebrated. Because let's face it, if we don't tell her story right, who will? The British media? Please. They've done everything in their power to drag this woman through the mud. But the truth has a funny way of showing up, loud, proud and unstoppable. And today, we've got a fresh reminder of who Meghan really is. Not the caricature they like to paint with their venomous headlines and dog whistles, but the real Meghan. The smart, grounded, curious, hard-working woman who's out here building things, real things, with integrity and vision. And we're seeing it again on her podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. In the latest episode, Meghan sat down with Heather Hasson, the founder of FIGS, those revolutionary medical scrubs. And she gave us one of those signature Meghan moments, the kind that quietly shuts down every lie told about her without even trying. She started talking about her days at Northwestern University, where she studied theatre and international relations. And listen, this wasn't just a college flashback moment. This was Meghan pulling back the curtain to show us exactly how those early experiences shaped her into the powerful woman and leader she is today. She talked about being a theatre major and how you weren't allowed to just perform. You had to do everything, from lighting to sound to wardrobe to sewing. She said, you had to do soup to nuts every part of what a production would entail, which I actually think is incredible training for when you're running a team. Now come on, how many people do you know who talk like that? Who connect the dots between art and leadership, between empathy and execution? That's the kind of insight you get when someone has actually done the work, not just studied from a distance, not just married into privilege, but earned their stripes. Meghan didn't just play dress-up and wait for a prince. She was already building her path before royalty even entered the picture. And she mentioned being comfortable with a sewing machine because of that training. Yeah, Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, can run a boardroom and thread a bobbin. That's the level we're dealing with. She has range, she has depth. And that's what makes her a threat to those who only feel powerful when they're towering over others. You see, Meghan represents a kind of woman that the establishment doesn't know how to handle. They're used to silence, compliance, deference. But Meghan questions. She creates, she leads. And for some folks stuck in the dark ages, that's terrifying. Let's not forget, this woman double majored in theatre and international relations. That's art and diplomacy. That's performance and politics. And then she turned around and used those skills to build a life, a platform, and a movement. Before she ever met Prince Harry, Meghan had already created a successful career. She wasn't some damsel in distress plucked from obscurity. She was shining on her own terms. The world just hadn't caught up yet. And when she did marry Harry, the knives came out, fast. The same media that once called her glamorous and a breath of fresh air did a full 180 the moment they realized she wouldn't play the obedient role they'd assigned her. But even with the racism, the misogyny, the smear campaigns, the betrayal from people she should have been able to trust, Meghan didn't break. No, sis bent. But she didn't break. She moved, she pivoted, and she built again. Her podcast is proof of that. Her business ventures are proof of that. Her advocacy, her philanthropy, her storytelling, all of it is proof that you can't keep a good woman down. Especially not a woman with purpose. And then there was that other moment in the podcast, the one where she talked about doing her hair in college. Sitting in the Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority house, struggling with a hot stove flat iron, paper towel on the side, and scorch marks on the plates. And you know what? That moment hit, because if you know, you know. You could feel the memories in her voice, trying to manage her natural hair texture in a world that never made space for it. She said most of the white girls in the house would ask, "What's that smell?" And it was just the smell of trying to tame, to conform, to figure it out without guidance or support. And I know so many of us can relate to that. It's the quiet struggle of existing in spaces that were never designed for you, but still holding your head high. That's the life experience Meghan brings into every room she enters. And it's the part her haters always ignore. But they can't erase that. They can't take it from her. She brings her full self into the world, and it's that authenticity that draws people in and threatens the hell out of those who only know how to wear a mask. And let's talk about her husband for a second, because Harry isn't some background character in all of this. That man saw what the royal institution and the press were doing to his wife, and he chose to walk away. He chose peace, he chose truth, he chose love. And the world watched in shock because they're not used to seeing that kind of loyalty. But that's exactly what it was. Harry didn't abandon his family, he protected it. And anyone who says otherwise is being willfully blind. What he and Meghan have built together, it's based on partnership, not performance, on equality, not hierarchy. And that's why they keep winning, because what they have is real. Meanwhile, their critics keep spinning, they keep flailing, grasping for relevance, recycling the same tired narratives because they can't handle the reality that Meghan and Harry are doing just fine without them. Better even. So here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to let these haters rewrite history. We're not going to let the tabloids have the last word. We're not going to let the bitter brigade define our Duchess, because Meghan Markle is not just surviving, she's thriving. She's building something lasting. She's using her voice, her experience, her truth, and that's more powerful than any crown. She's showing up for women, for founders, for people of colour, for anyone who's ever been told to sit down and be quiet. And she's doing it with elegance, intelligence, and undeniable strength. So if you're riding with Meghan and Harry, if you believe in lifting up truth over propaganda, love over hate, and courage over conformity, then this is your squad. This is your space. You are home. And if you've made it this far in the video, I want you to do one thing. Go ahead and click that subscribe button right now. Not just because it helps the channel, but because every subscriber is a voice added to the chorus saying, "We see you, Meghan, we got you." And if you want to go a step further, please consider dropping a super thanks below. It helps us keep telling the stories that matter and calling out the lies they don't want us to challenge. Meghan Markle reveals the surprising ways studying acting in college helped her prepare for running a team. The Duchess of Sussex opened up about her days at Northwestern University on the latest episode of her podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder. In an unexpected way, studying acting in college prepared Meghan Markle for her future as a founder. The Duchess of Sussex, 43, spoke about what she learned during her days at Northwestern University in a conversation with Fig's medical scrubs creator Heather Hasson on the latest episode of her podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder from Lemonada Media, released on May 13th. Meghan said, "I was a theatre major, and part of the programme was that you couldn't just do the acting. You had to do soup to nuts, every part of what a production would entail, which I actually think is incredible training for when you're running a team, because you appreciate what the sound person does and what the lighting person does. Wardrobe department and sewing were part of it too, so I'm comfortable with a sewing machine," she added, bringing the discussion back to Hasson's introduction to her scrubs business. At Northwestern, Meghan double-majored in theatre and international relations. She went on to use her acting skills on Suits and other roles before leaving the acting world ahead of her 2018 wedding to Prince Harry. This isn't the first time that the Duchess of Sussex has spoken about her college days on her podcast. In the April 22nd episode, Meghan told friend and hair colorist Katie Lee about styling her hair while living at the Kappa Kappa Gamma sorority house. "I don't even think they made plug-in flat irons at the time," she said. "They couldn't. If they did, I didn't know where they were because I had the little stove with the flat iron that would go in, have a paper towel on the side." I mean, probably half the people listening to this are going, "What is she talking about?" Or you'd pull it out, it would have the little scorch marks. And I remember most of the girls in the sorority who were not black say, "What's that smell? Is hair burning?" And it was just what you would do to figure out how to grapple with this texture of hair, Meghan recalled. "This isn't just a channel, this is a movement. This is the Royal Sussex Squad, and we are loud, we are proud, and we are never backing down. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and above all, stay Sussex strong."